Welcome back, everyone. It's me, Dr. B, the Chemi. So today we're going to be talking about the Masters. And with the Masters, we're going to talk about, do I need to get a Masters? And if so, are there different kinds of Masters? And which one is the right one for me? So first of all, I just want to give the disclaimer before I jump into everything that when I talk about the Masters, I'm going to be speaking from a chemical engineering perspective. And so for other disciplines of engineering, all this advice may not be fully applicable or true for you, but I believe a lot of what I'm saying is pertinent. But I just have to get that disclaimer before I jump in. Okay, so to start, as a chemical engineer, you don't need a master's in order to get a full-time job. A lot of chemical engineering students go straight into getting into a job with a bachelor's. And the reason why is because as a chemical engineer, you have a good background and the core courses that you've taken, everyone knows what you've taken as a chemical engineer because it's the same curriculum across the country. And so you don't need to get a master's, but there are some times where it could be beneficial to obtain a master's. For example, if you want to go up in rank in terms of on the management side, it could be beneficial. A lot of times, managers encourage or like seeing other folks with a master's degree. Not saying you absolutely have to, but it may help you. Additionally, if you're interested in going into research and development, having a master's could be beneficial because your master's may include some research components to it, and you can leverage those skills for getting research and development positions. Now, although you have this master's can allow you to go down the research and development path or go up in terms of administration, I do want to also give the disclaimer that there are actually different kinds of masters, and not all masters are the same. Generally, for engineering, there are two types of masters. You've got your course-based masters, which is generally you take 10 classes and then you earn your master's degree. And when you hear a lot of the times this 5-year master's program, it's a course-based master's where in your junior or senior year, you'll take 2 classes. And then in your 5th year, you'll take 8 classes that are master's level. And in May of your 5th year, you'll graduate with your master's degree. But it's a course-based master's, and so a lot of the times the distinction is that you'll get a master's in engineering or master's of engineering, and it'll be called an MEng. And the other type of master's you have is a thesis-based master's. And so for a thesis-based master's, the difference is that you'll take 8 classes instead of 10, and the other time spent is doing research. And so technically, the other 2 classes that you're taking are really research. And the thesis-based masters will take usually a year and a half to 2 years. Because you're doing research, that takes a lot more time because you need to do a lot of experiments and you need to get valid results. And as you're collecting all these results, you're going to write all these results up in a technical document, which is your thesis. Usually the thesis will contain enough information that it is on the cusp, if not enough, for you to submit it as a manuscript and eventually get it published. And so by the conclusion of your thesis-based masters, you will have a thesis that you will write and then defend to a committee. Once that all happens, you earn your master's. And that is a thesis-based master's, and that is called an MS. Now again, depending on the school you go to, they may just mix everything together and just call everything an MS. Oh, that's a tongue twister. Sorry. It's an MS. But some of the times they may distinguish between the two. And if you see an MEng, that is a course-based master's. Now, for a thesis-based master's, because it does have a good amount of research going with it, that's why I was saying that, or that's the type of master's that would help you go down the research and development path. Because that thesis-based master's has a research element to it, in comparison to the course-based master's, which doesn't have any research. Now, additionally, for a thesis-based master's, that actually is also beneficial if you're thinking about going to get a PhD. For example, if you're thinking about research, if you're interested in maybe getting a PhD someday, but you're not 100% committed to spending 5 years getting a PhD, a thesis-based master's is a really good intermediate because you're going to spend some time doing research, you dip your toes into the research, and before you make a full commitment, you can decide whether or not doing research is for you. And if it is, great. You can then use the thesis-based master's as a stepping stone and jump into a PhD program. And if you're good with the thesis-based master's, you can call it a day and go get a job. The other nice thing with a thesis-based master's is that if you want to go get a PhD, it buys you time to further develop yourself on the research side so that you may have a manuscript or a publication under your belt. You may also have a chance to go to a conference and give either a poster or a presentation, which again can be very beneficial if you're going to a PhD program. Now, going back to course-based masters, I also want to clarify that there is more than just one type of course-based masters. Within course-based masters, there's usually, you have your general chemical engineering course-based masters, and depending on the school, they may actually have other types of course-based masters that are a little bit more focused and specialized on a particular topic. So for example, you may see that you have chemical engineering masters, which is going to be all your core chemical engineering classes you took in undergrad, like kinetics and thermodynamics and heat transfer and fluid mechanics. You would have those again at the graduate level, so it's going to go into a lot more depth in terms of the fundamental concepts. And so you'll take all those classes again, but it's going to be a lot more challenging. And the remainder of the classes are going to be electives. However, you may also have other course-based masters, such as a pharmaceutical engineering master's, a complex fluids master's, or something of a hybrid between computer science and chemical engineering, or data science and chemical engineering. You may have one of those types of masters. And that may have a different set of core courses that you need to take in lieu of the traditional chemical engineering core courses. And that may be very appealing to some of you because you may be in an industry you're very passionate about and you want to keep learning in that field rather than going back to general chemical engineering. So for example, if you're in the pharmaceutical industry, that pharmaceutical master's might be worthwhile for you because it's going to focus on a lot of concepts and topics relevant to you in the pharma industry. If you're interested in emulsions, or you're interested in making different mixtures and formulating different compounds, a complex fluids master's could be useful for you because it's going to provide a lot more insight when you're making your formulations, making emulsions. And so again, that's why I'm saying you really want to think about what kind of masters you're getting, because there's a lot of different options. And before you put all your time into one master's, you want to make the right choice that's going to best fit you. Now, the other thing I want to mention, because we just covered that there are a lot of different options for course-based masters, is what is going to be most beneficial for you in terms of what are you learning? I mean, if you're going to get a master's just for the piece of paper, okay. Pretty much any of those master's programs I described, that'll work just fine. But if you're going to get a master's because you want to gain new knowledge, you really want to look into what these programs are offering and what new skills can you gain. Are there master's programs that are going to offer you more practice with working on teams, communicating? Are there any masters that are going to offer design? Right? Are they going to combine chemical engineering with design that allows you to make your own product, develop it, test it out on a market, and pilot produce it? If so, that might be a new skill set that is really worthwhile to you and is a nice change up from the things you were doing in undergrad. And so that's why I want you to just be aware of all of these different options prior to making your decision. Now, with regards to when you say that you have a master's, you might wonder, does everyone view the master's as the same? Not necessarily. If you told me, oh, I have a master's, I will ask you, because I'm a professor, I know there's the differences. I will ask, so what kind of master's did you get? A thesis or course-based? Because in my eyes, I know that there is a difference between the two. One of them, I know you've done research and you've got a lot of new skills to leverage. In the course-based masters, you took more classes, and again, depending on if you took the general chemical engineering masters or a more focused and specialized one, there's different information you may be able to leverage. If you're speaking to somebody in HR, they probably don't necessarily know the difference between the masters. And so for them, if they see masters of any type, then they'll probably say, yep, okay, great. They have a master's, good. We'll give them a pay bump. So it kind of depends on who you're speaking to. Those people in research and development, I think they'll very much know what the differences are, and they'll be very keen on looking for folks with a thesis-based master's instead of the course-based master's. And so these are all things I just want you to think about before you make your decision on getting a master's. And I hope that this all helps you, and I wish you the best of luck in your decision. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.